Question: how much are your electricity bills really costing you? Now, you may say, oh, they're about 200 a month, or they're about 600 a quarter, or whatever the amount may be for you. And you may be correct in saying that, but have you worked out what the long term cost would really be? Let's work it out. So, to work out the long term costs, we need to know how much of electricity rates have increased. So, I asked Google, and it's said that over the last 20 years, they've increased by 100% to 200%. And over 10 years, it's been about a 9% increase. So, on average, that works about to 5 to 10% per year, which significantly outpaces the general costs of rate of inflation. Now, if we scroll down, I asked what 5 to 10%. That's quite a range. What's the median increase? So it said it'd be about 6.5% over a 10-year timeline. But then I said over 10 years though, and it said between 6.8 to 7.2% per year over a 10-year timeline. And that's because there's been closures of coal-fired power plants. It's and global energy crisis following the invasion of Ukraine, causing coal and gas prices to skyrocket, and gas sets a peak price in the Australian electricity market. And there's a loyalty tax penalty, so retailers penalize customer loyalty. Go figure. So they jack up the rates more for people that stay with the same company. So if you think you're better off staying with the company, you're wrong, essentially. All right. So yeah, and there was also COVID as well. So if we use that, plug that in, let's see here. So 20 400, 200, let's say 200 a month times 12, that's 2400. But I'm just simplifying things. So let's say they increased by, what did it say, 6.8 to 7.2. So let's say 7% a year. All right. For the power, and this is the sum of a geometric series formula, or the compound interest formula. So what we do is we take the month, the amount in the first year, so 200 per month times 12, times by, and then we do a bracket, 1.07, which is 1 plus the annual interest rate, which is 7% per year. So 1 plus 0.07, 1 plus 7% is 1.07. And then we take the power, take the power of 10. So 10 years. So it's a decade we're looking at here, the cost over a decade. So 1.07 to the power of 10, and subtract 1, and then we close the bracket, and then we divide by the interest rate, so 7%. So that works out to be 33, just over 33 grand, 33,159 specifically. But it's no point being that specific because electricity rates can vary. So this is just a ballpark. So that'd be how much a $200 monthly bill would be over 10 years if the usage stays about the same. If it increases to, say, $300 with a month with an electric vehicle, or more air conditioning, or whatever, or more people in the home, more hot showers and that sort of thing, then it could also be like young girls growing up into teenage daughters with long hair, where they take longer showers combing their hair. I have long hair too, so I'm a culprit. So that'd be 33, just over 33 grand over 10 years. Oh wait, I forgot to hit the enter button. 33 grand over 10 years is a $200 monthly bill with that same usage, but equivalent usage with $300 a month would work out to be 3,600 a year, and over 10 years that'd be just under 50 grand. So a $300 monthly bill would be, electricity rates are typically around 36 cents a kilowatt hour, but you don't have to take my word for that. What's the what are typical electricity rates? Typical electricity rates. Let's say in Sydney, because that's where I'm located and where I speak with most people that I help. What are typical electricity rates in Sydney? So, typical residential electricity rates range from 30 to 37 cents per kilowatt hour, with daily supply charges ranging from 80 to $1.05 per day. All right. So average quarterly bills generally land between $350 and $600. All right. So we've come back to here. So you know, and then yeah. So 300. So I took the upper end of the range, 350 to 600 for a quarterly bill. That works about to be $200 a month. So 200 a month again. It's 200 a month is 33,159 over 10 years. So if we take the lower end of that range, 350 a quarter times 4, 7% increase per year, be 19,343. All right. If we say the quarterly costs are more like $1,000 with like 2 electric vehicles, fully ducted air conditioning, maybe a pool, that can be pretty typical for that kind of usage profile. It'd be like a $1,000 quarterly bill, potentially more than that, especially in winter. But that'd be about 55 grand over 10 years. Now I do speak with people that can pay like $2,000 a quarter. That's $110,000 a year. One lady said to me that she spent $5,000 a quarter in winter, and the other quarters was about $2,000. So if we add that up, that's like 2,000 times 3 plus 5,000. That would work out to be like $152,000 over 10 years. So you can see it's quite a wide range from, $350 a quarter, up to 150, $152, $152,000. So between 19, you could spend between $19 to $152,000 on electricity bills over the next 10 years, depending on how much electricity that you use and how big the home is, how much you run the air conditioning. Now, if we stretch it out to 20 years, let's say you stay in, it's like your forever home, you stay there in the home for that long. Over 20 years, your electricity bills could range between $57,000 up to, let's see, what did I work out before? So 5,000 plus 6, it's 11,000. 5,000 plus 2,000 times 3 is 11,000. It's 450. Wow. 451 grand that you'd spend on electricity bills over 20 years if you spend about $11,000 a year, which is on the very high end of what someone might spend. So anywhere between 19 to 450 grand you could spend on electricity bills, depending on your usage. So if you get a solar and battery system, you'd be able to slash that expenditure, and you don't have to pay upfront for it. There's a $15,000 zero interest loan from the New South Wales government, so you can take advantage of that. You could spend, allocate, get a solar and battery system. That a small one would start from around 15 grand or so. It could be a little bit larger than the smallest one. And then if you get a larger system, you could allocate over 15 grand. The funding required could be over 15 grand for a medium or a larger system. But you don't necessarily have to spend over 15 grand up front. The balance above 15 grand, you could also pay it off with a green loan. just depends. One caveat is that with a zero interest loan, the combined household income or the property title needs to be no more than $210,000 per year. So if your income's over than that, then you can either pay up front for it, which you can probably afford to do if you're earning over $210,000 per year, or you can pay off over a green loan. Either way, it would cost a lot less to do that, to be able to slash the expenditure on your electricity bill and get the funding, allocate funding together through those avenues, rather than continuing to spend 19 to 451 grand on electricity bills over 20 years or whatever I said earlier, if it's 10 years, 152 up to 152 grand, 1400 is probably the minimum bill that someone might spend. 19 grand, let's say it's like as low as $1,000 a year, like $250 a quarter. It's like 13-14 grand. So hope you found this video helpful. Now, some solar companies may say that, oh, if your electricity bills aren't super high, you could just, like, let's say you're spending like less than $350 a quarter. Some companies may say, oh, you're not spending that much, you could just keep paying for electricity bills. If the problem with that is that it doesn't really factor in the long-term cost if you stay in the home for over 20 years, because if you spend $1,000 a year on electricity bills, that still work out to be 40 grand, 41 grand on electricity. And if you get a solar and battery system, you could also use more electricity. Maybe the home is on gas. You could get off gas and be able to slash your gas costs as well. So if you have a petrol car, you could switch to an electric vehicle to spend less on fuel costs, or get rid of fuel costs as well. So fully electrifying your life, you can actually save quite a lot of money, even if your electricity bills are low. All right. If you got any questions, feedback, leave a comment in the chat. And if you would like to get a quote for a solar and battery system, you can contact us at DSW Energy. Our website is dswenergy.com.au. Our number is here, 1300 958 778. Give us a call. You can ask to speak to me, James Ray, and I'll get back to you. Or my assistant can arrange a time for me to speak with you. If you're in Sydney, or I can help other people, but we have a whole team like staff in South Australia, Queensland, potentially more in New South Wales and Victoria. So thanks for watching.